Good day. God bless you guys. Welcome back. My name is Zach, and this is episode 64 and 65 in the Healthy, Wealthy, Happy series. Um, so I didn't go live yesterday. We just were busy. Me and my son had a great workout at the gym. We did some of the 5K training on the treadmill with the interval running, and we went hard in the training room where we just did all 10 machines in a row, just all lifting weights, bap, 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 bap. So yesterday, just busy all day, flew by. Did my 400 calorie meals, went a little over, because we went out to the mall and we had a little, we'll call it one of those life happens days. That's totally included in the program. You don't make it painful. Make this easy. Can you eat ice cream? Yeah, just not every day. Can you go out for a burger and fries? Yeah, just not every day. So let's go to Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not be faint. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not grow faint. So I really like that word of encouragement from the Bible to uh, to hope in the Lord. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the belief in things unseen. So we have faith and hope in the Lord that, that there is an afterlife, that he does exist, that his son, Jesus Christ, was here and did die for our sins. And we believe that's true. And we confess that before man, and he will confess us before the Father. The quote, don't be afraid of making mistakes. It's how we learn. I've said that over and over and over on this channel to just hurry up and start failing. Thank you for the like, whoever went live, or whoever you are, you come on and like it every day. I think I know who you are. It took me a while to figure it out, but thank you very much. Two of you people already live and liking it. So this is kind of a double episode. So 64 and 65. So yesterday was day 2 of eating, and we got a great workout, and we ate a little more than usual, but not overboard. We didn't. I'm not saying I pigged out all day. I still did my 400 calorie meals all day. I just had one meal outside of the 400 calorie meals, and then the same thing today. Family time is a lot more important than fitness time, but it's part of the happy part of the Healthy, Wealthy, Happy series. Time with my son, who's right over there, is great joy to my life and brings peace and happiness to my heart and soul. So those days are gonna happen, and I'm never gonna regret those days in any way. Um, so today we just went hard on that circuit yesterday, and we felt a little wimped out. So we didn't hit the gym today, but that's not saying we might not bust out a little yoga here and just do my little 10-minute stretching and yoga and some warrior one, and hit some poses and feel good. So what do I got here for some notes? Oh, so continuous learning. I don't always emphasize what I'm always doing. I bring it up occasionally. Like, I always take my cold shower. Like today, I went a little longer in there, and I just, when I would have turned it off, I was like, just keep going a little bit. And I just, especially with the short hair, it seems like I can almost feel like my hair feels like icicles. It's getting so cold on my head, and with the less hair on the side of my head, and I really like to put a lot of cold water just right into my face, and I just rub it in all the skin. And I really think it's helped me to keep the wrinkles and the younger-ish appearance. A lot of people don't think I even look more than 49 and a half, and I'm 50. So that's awesome. So I just let that extra cold water go over me all day, and in the peroxide with brushing my teeth, I do it every day. I just brush my teeth with it, rinse out, and then sometimes, or usually, I just put it in my mouth and let it sit there and oxygenate my gums, and then that helps oxygenate my bloodstream and flowing through me. So it's just those daily habits of things that I'm just always doing, and the newer ones is adding in the 5K training when I go to the gym. So like 3 days a week, I'm just running some interval running. It's kind of like just the beginnings, baby steps, run for a minute. We were up to running for 2 minutes at a time. And then, but we went a little shorter. We didn't go the whole like 25 minutes. We like warmed up for 5 and then just jogged for 5 or 10, something like that. So, and then always with the Bible, always with Audible books. Um, I'm always like looking up self-help audible books or YouTube videos or podcasts. It's just things I'm always doing. I don't always bring it up on a daily, on a day-to-day basis. It might come up on my live feed. Like I might, if I bring up some particular habit forming technique on any of my videos, it's probably because I listened to some habit form technique forming, audible book or podcast that day, and it's just the same thing with, I can quote the Bible a little bit for having studied it for 30 years. I should be able to quote it a whole lot more than I do. But if I quote a little bit longer of some verses, it's probably because I was reading those books recently so I don't always say what I'm doing, but I want to emphasize that I'm just always in this mode, this feeling um, that I'm just never giving up. And I wanted to come up with a new term for the way I feel. And it's like, it doesn't even make sense, but it came to me today. And I just feel that I'm in warrior mode at all times, there's this car out front of my apartment that always starts beeping. And I'm sure you can hear that, but let's just pretend that we don't hear this loud beeping in the background that just went off 10 minutes ago and now it's going off again. So I'm just always feeling that I'm in warrior mode. I've heard it before, like some jujitsu schools, they say, how many hours a day you train? And they say, I train 24 hours a day. And some people are like, well, that's ridiculous. You obviously don't train 24 hours a day. But depending on what your mindset is, you are training 24 hours a day. If you're sleeping with the intentful purpose of getting the most recuperative, recovering sleep you can possibly get, and you're doing everything you can do. For me, it's like reduce the coffee, or drink the tea at night, or de-stress, get off of social media, so that there's 6 to 8 hours a day that you're training to to recover. And when you wake up in the morning, if you have a positive thought, like I said, I brought it up in some of my videos on some of the positive quotes. Just one positive thought in the morning can just set your day off in a positive direction. And just the opposite too. People say I rolled out of the wrong side of the bed, and they say it religiously, like they're just always grumpy, always in a bad mood. There's a guy at my work, he retired now, but for decades, anytime anybody ever asked him how was he doing, his answer was horse shit every day. And the dude, and I know it was a joke, but he was never smiling. He was never, in a good mood. You never saw him joking and happy and celebratory about anything with anybody ever. So, think about that, the way you're acting and the way you're forming these habits that are just making yourself miserable, and you don't even realize it. Sometimes you really got to have some big transfer of some kind of big paradigm shift in your life. Sometimes it can happen on accident. For me, I mean, it kind of sucks to say, well, man, it's so awesome I got diabetes. I tell you, my face did not look like this before I got diabetes. I'm saying, like, as chubby it was way chubbier. Like, if I could ever figure out how to edit these videos, like I took several pictures of my food yesterday and today instead of going on with the little shorts. And I just can't figure out how to even put pictures onto an editor to make a little video to upload. That's how terrible I am. So I still need to, I have some work to do there. I know I need to just look up, more editing, video editing, YouTube videos to learn how to do it more. But when we were at the mall yesterday, I found a brand new Speed Champion Lego set with the Toyota. So I have that on reserve now. I don't really need it with my son here. He doesn't let me overeat. He takes care of business. So but like I said, if it's lunchtime and I just ate and I want to eat more and I just know I need to wait a couple hours to eat and it's the day off of work and I don't have nothing going on, I just sit down and put that together, and it's fun and interesting, and the time it takes you to look through all those little teeny pieces and put that thing together, and you look up, it's like, oh man, it's been 2 hours. So that's just another, like I said, just kind of warrior mode. And now it's been several weeks of absolutely zero food in my apartment that isn't healthy food. I said, except for the canned goods that I never eat. They're kind of, like I said, my zombie apocalypse survival rations. There's 3-4 bins of them under the bed, 2-3-4 bins of them underneath the TV stand, and they're just there for an emergency. Speaking of, when everybody was buying all that toilet paper, good old Uncle Zach, I had so much toilet paper that not only did I not buy toilet paper then, what was that, 3 years ago? I had so much toilet paper stocked up that even today, uh, February 11th, 2023, I still haven't bought toilet paper since then. And you guys were cleaning out those aisles like it was the most important thing you needed to survive, which is ridiculous. I was buying water filters and canned goods, and you guys are buying toilet paper. I would have lasted longer than you, but I would have had plenty. I could have wiped you up when your dead body was laying there. So also, we board games is something I've talked about it. This shelf, this is all board games, and it goes. There's dozens of them on that shelf alone. I have a lot more. They're very time consuming as well. When you don't do drugs and you don't drink and you're not a criminal anymore, and you're not mischievous individual. What do? You work out, you work, you sleep, you eat, you work out. And you got to have some hobbies. I play guitar. I put the Lego sets together now. I play some board games. I have a board game set up over here. I almost want to turn the thing. I just remembered I can go live on my phone now because I have over 1,000 subscribers. Oh, we're up to 1,184 subscribers just as I went live. So thank you to all the new subscribers, and thanks for watching the videos. I got several hundred watch hours bumped up today from the last couple days. So that tells me people are watching the videos. Maybe later. So that's a nice sign that the channel's growing. People are just organically watching the videos, and we'll plug away. It's still, I can see it's going to take a few more months at least. Maybe, yeah, at least a few more months. Maybe 6 months at the most. But however long it takes is no problem. So, no. Okay, so yeah, I'm just reading my notes about some of my habits that I'm forming, and some of them is just my grocery shopping habits now. Well, for one, I've done a lot of just delivering it to my house and where I have my food list prepared, and then I just order exactly what I need. But then sometimes I also, even after I do that, I'll go to the grocery store and supplement it slightly, tweaking it here and there. But it's helping to just I don't just aimlessly go down any aisle. Like I said, there's nothing healthy down them aisles. There's like seasonings and spices that are down the aisles, and like olive oils down those aisles. So there's a couple sniped out items, but for the most case, it's all processed, all, refined foods. So, it's hit the fruits and vegetables, the meat, the nuts, the berries, which the nuts I've had to cut back out, which is no big deal. It's just a habit of learning. I read a good one today about just talking about, you know, you're smart enough if you can learn from your own mistakes, which most people just don't. And if you think you do, I'm telling you, if you're in the same situation that you've been trying to get out of, you obviously don't learn from your own mistakes. Just this simple fact that, this is a channel about being overweight. That means that made the same mistakes over and over and over. It takes a long time to be a 315-pound diabetic with an A1C of 11.2. That's not just a little slip up on a weekend. That's 20, 30 years of mistakes made. But I learned from my mistakes, and that's smart. That's intelligent to learn from your own mistakes. But even more intelligent is to learn from the mistakes of others and not make them yourself. So that's why we read. That's why we study. That's why we watch podcasts. That's why we watch YouTube channels. Zach made mistakes galore, man. I'll be the first one to admit it. I mean, the channel is basically an admission of guilt that you made mistakes. It's a weight loss blog channel. So, don't be afraid to fail. You will fail if you don't try. And, that's a failure in itself. And then, well, just you have to quit looking at failure as something negative in the first place. Like, oh, you tripped and stumbled, ha ha. And people love to laugh at you, even to your friends. The matter of fact, I think your friends and family enjoy laughing at you more than complete strangers do. And I don't know why that is. It has boggled my mind my entire life. I've saw it even from my own parents, like competing with me, and not so much my brothers and sisters. We didn't compete like that, but yeah, like say I'm out on a 5K and the person next to me, a complete stranger, raises her hand. She's a young 20-year-old girl, and we just happen to be running the same pace the first 200 yards. And she's like, all right, yeah, high five. Let's rock this 5K out together. Complete stranger motivated me, and then I win the Upper Midwest Golden Gloves Championship in 1991 in the novice division. It's not that big of a brag. If it sounds like I'm bragging, I'm not. I bring it up almost as a joke because it's so low level boxing. But I got home and it was on ESPN and it showed me knock this guy out. And you know what my mother said? Okay, you won your fight. Can you be done boxing now? No support, no motivation. In fact, attempting to break me down and destroy me and crush me and not see me. My trainers are talking about going pro in the next like 12 months after that fight, and I ended up getting a night job and changing my life significantly after my boxing career was over. But my point is, complete strangers like my boxing coaches were more dedicated to my future success than even my mother, who was attempting in every way she could to tear me back down. And it's just a fact of life. You don't have to be the victim of it. I'm not trying to say this story to be a victim. I'm trying to say this story of don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid of your loved ones not agreeing with you succeeding, or, oh, that's how many times I've heard people say that fasting is not good for you. And when I asked him, where did they get their information? Because I want to read about it to make sure I'm staying healthy. Not a single one of them ever, in the dozens and dozens of times that they've said it to me, just snap out of the air. That's not good for you. Never have they been able to quote me any information, any book they read, any doctor series that I can look up on YouTube. I'm aware I could find negative things on fasting online, maybe 1% compared to the 99% positive stuff, but they are not even aware of it because they're just pulling it out of thin air to bring you down. And it's people complete strangers will be like, oh, is that good for you? How do you do that? What is that about? So Bible, books, audible books, podcasts, stay positive, stay filled with your goal. Oh, I'm trying to quit drinking, and I'm gonna go hang out at the bar and talk to people there about not drinking. Does that make sense? Like, no, that makes no sense at all. What you'd want to do is go somewhere where, maybe go to a AA meeting or go to, anywhere else. Just don't even think about quitting drinking. You don't have to be so focused on what you're not doing. Like, go do what you are going to do. Like, instead of going to the bar every day after work, I'm going to go to the gym every day after work. So you don't have to go to the gym and talk about not drinking. You can go to the gym and talking about being at the gym, working out, getting in shape, feeling great, running, lifting, cardio, hit training, doing core, doing whatever. Your topic in your mind can be so different than what you think it can be. Like, I have to be focused on, I'm afraid to fail. You don't have to be focused on that. You can let that go and forget about that. You know, um, like I said, I had a bigger meal yesterday that wasn't on my program, and I also today, not as bad today. I did pretty good today, but it's part of the program to just ride out the storm. You don't have to bat 1,000. You just can't be batting 200. You got to be swinging consistent, putting the votes in. Like in the first early videos, I had talked about habit formation, habit creation, how we program ourselves, like putting a little bell from a end of a string on your back door. Your dog will learn how to ding that thing when it has to go to the bathroom in like no time, way faster than humans learn habits. And, so I try to think to myself, am I as trainable as a dog? Because in reality, we're not. But I try to elevate myself up to the level of a dog's ability to learn and say, okay, Zach, if you will just vote for yourself most of the time, like, oh man, we just went. I mean, me and my son just went and had ice cream, and I'm talking about a scoop of ice cream about as big as this mouse. Okay, was it a treat? Yeah, it was a once in a while treat, and I'm not being hard on myself. It was a vote to have a treat with my son. That's it. I'm not like, oh, I failed my diet. Fuck it. I give up. Let's just go back to 315 pounds, Zach. No, you got to be in this new feeling that I wrote down today. I feel, you've heard of beast mode. I don't know. I've never really associated with beast mode. Like, to me, that indicates like out of control mode. Like, you're just a little too aggressive. I prefer warrior mode. I am always in warrior mode because I'm not giving up. I'm serving the Lord Jesus Christ in every breath I take all day of every day. Do I fail that? Yes, continuously. I mean, the New Testament, especially. I mean, every book Paul wrote. Paul was a terrible persecutor of Christianity until he was stricken down on the road to Damascus and made to be a servant of the Lord. And he continuously wrote that he was the worst sinner of all people. And I've always it was the only part of the Bible I have always teasingly said I disagree with, that Paul was the worst sinner, because I feel like I am. But my point is that I'm always I'm not giving up. I'm in warrior mode for Jesus. And that means to take care of myself, to place the votes for myself, to do the right thing most of the time. Like 70%, 80%, 90%, I mean, if you can just start off doing half a good thing, like I said, if you're drinking 12 cans of, I'll just pick Mountain Dew because it's a commonly very addicting sugary beverage with that caffeine and other chemicals in it that have people very, very addicted to it. If you can just cut that down to 6 and then 3 and then 2 and then, and then replace it with water. I mean, how many people do you know that drink a 12 pack of water a day? Like, nobody says that. I mean, I do regularly, but people that are healthy do, and don't even, that's how you live. They're not thinking about, well, I'm not doing something bad for my body. I'm doing something good. So just start placing the votes for yourself. Even if it's, how many people have told me, people, not even people that watch this, watch my channel on YouTube, but just friends and family and coworkers have told me, hey, I tried the cold shower, I'm getting used to it. Or, hey, I started off, I just turned it down a little cooler and worked my way. And I'm like, hey, that's a step in the right direction. But honestly, with the cold showers, you want it to be as shocking as possible. You really don't want to go lukewarm and then cooler and cooler and cooler, because then your body adapts to it without going into shock. It's the shock that is the health benefit. It makes your immune system go into like panic mode to defend itself against foreign invaders, and it causes your T cells to just go nuts, and your body's just scrambling in defense. And that just heightens your defenses. So any bacteria or viruses, which are everywhere at all times, you just happen to get them in the fall more because the air gets drier and your cells of your body get dehydrated. And where that cell's water is missing, then that virus can fit in. The viruses are always everywhere in the world. That's why everybody gets them everywhere. There's no such thing as pandemics and shit. And people it doesn't go from one person to the next. It's already everywhere. But whatever. Let's just say that's my opinion. Um, from what I've researched, any virologist that knows the truth, um, they know they're lying. So anyway, something that came to me today too is like, what are you focused on mentally? What are you thinking about? You know, I'm talking about letting yourself go through these failures and still be on an upward trajectory. Feel good about yourself. That, well, Zach, you wanted to go to the gym every day for the last 3 days, but you only went 2 of the days. Or, out of the last 4 days, I only went 2 days and I wanted to go 3 of the days. Am I still doing good? Like, yeah, you went 2 more days than the person that didn't go at all. Or, you ate, the one bad meal yesterday and the one kind of little worse meal today that was probably over 400 calories. But are you still in, I bet you I'm down, I bet you I'll be, less weight in every 8 days again. We'll see. But, we're going to learn some lessons here, and I hope that I can learn from my mistakes and continue. Not that I make mistakes and then give up. Let's just call them mistakes instead of failures. You're going to make mistakes, and then you correct them and change. And then when you try again, the definition to not be insane is to try something different. Don't try. Ignore my son. He's kind of rocking back and forth like he's enjoying the rocking chair. So what am I dreaming of today? I'm dreaming of my future fitness level, physically, but also my future state of well-being. My mind, the peace of mind, of the joy and the happiness of life when you learn to let things go. Every once in a while it'll just slip in your mind. I'm single, so I've had ex-wives and ex-girlfriend. Well, one ex-wife and several ex-girlfriends that I was very in love with. Um, I hate to say it like this, but I was way, way more in love with my girlfriends than I ever was with my wife. But that's just the way it is. I married somebody that I wasn't very in love with. But that's the past. So when I find myself getting a little bogged down and Well, why didn't that one work out? Why didn't that one work? Oh man, I really love that one. I snap out of it, and it's like that's not part of your joy and happiness. That's part of your past. And if it brings joy, then it's okay. But if it's bringing you down, then you got to let it go, and you got to think about, there's going to be the right woman for you out there. There's going to be the right guy out there for you, whoever you may be. Um, or maybe you can just, you can find great joy in some solitude for a while, or maybe a long, long while. I'm actually quite fascinated by people that can, um, remain single and find a lot of joy in life. And and I never really understood that before. Like, yeah, you need that companion to really complete you. And it's like, well, if that's the case, then it's because you are incomplete, and you believe somebody else is going to complete you. And they're not, and they're not going to make you happy. And they may seem to make you happy in that first 3 to 6 to 9 months or a year, however long it lasts before it kind of starts caving in on itself, because it's not real. If the happiness is only there because they're there, then you're not happy. So, and I'm learning that is this is me explaining what I've learned through trial and error and error and error and error to be happy with myself first. And you're going to be a lot happier with that significant other then. Um, so I'm dreaming of my future as far as my fitness and my mental health and my relationship health and my spiritual health, my relationships with my friends and family and coworkers, and my future girlfriends, and hopefully I have another wife someday, and maybe even have more children someday. I don't think I'm too old. I feel like, I don't know, it's weird. I really just do not feel like I'm 50 at all. Like, I really feel like the last 25 years is just, nah, that didn't happen. I'm still in my mid 20s. So when you make a vote for yourself as well, let's say you're going to you're being tempted to well, let's say you I quit smoking an e-cigarette, 2 3 months ago, whatever it's been now, 2 months ago. Haven't had a puff of one since. Let's say I have a desire to have one. You have to think about the future to not do it, because if you don't, the immediate, well, let's go to the worst case one I always use with the cocaine. If I think about what cocaine will do to me in the next 10 seconds compared to the next 10 years, I'll want to use it because it's going to be awesome in the next 10 seconds. But then when it's a daily habit, it's going to be a nightmare the next 10 years. So, and those are the long-term negative and positive, where the bad habits tend to have the immediate result of joy, of pleasure immediately, and then the long-term effects of are negative, where the positive habits tend to have an immediate negative connotation, especially like, well, you don't want to go to the gym because it hurts, because it's difficult, it's going to bring your body pain and soreness, but in the long term you're going to be fit and healthy and live longer. So when I think about going to the gym, am I thinking about how hard I'm going to be running and I'm going to feel kind of faint after I get up off this? No, I'm thinking about the future, the future fitness, the future health, the future wellness. Think about your children, if you have children, that their happiness will be hinged on your health as you age as well. Obviously, I'd be a lot happier if my mother was still with me, but her health and her habits of, she had a pretty poor diet, and even though she was never overweight, but she smoked like crazy, just lighting one after another, lighting one cigarette with the next, and then a lot of coffee, which I think long term it just has a lot of negative effects on your neurological system and your nervous system. Just reading about the caffeine in coffee compared to the caffeine in tea. And that's just an opinion too, but she's not here, so I feel like I could learn a lesson from somebody that I had close knowledge of her lifestyle and her eating habits, and a lot of pork, a lot of bacon and every breakfast, and a lot of cigarettes and caffeine. And she lived to be 58, so, and my brother too, a very sedimentary lifestyle. never got out, never really explored the world, never really had any outdoor habits or hobbies, or and he lived to be 40, so even worse. But then my dad, a lot more fit, a lot more active, even though he's had diabetes for more of his life. He just turned 75 3 days ago. Um, pretty fit, 75 years old. He was 5'9" when he was younger, but I think he's more like 5'6" now. He's really shrunk up as his old age, but I mean, he's 155 pounds. His exact healthy BMI for his height, probably about 5'7". He's just a little shorter than me, I guess. But my point is, to look at the different, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't drink alcohol, he doesn't overeat. Um, he just stays active. He's not like some gym rat. He lives out in the country, but he's in the yard. He's building rock gardens and digging and transplanting flowers and just being out in the sun with his shirt off and just staying active. And he's lived 25, 27 years, longer than my mother. With her habits and his habits. Looking at those two, I was like, okay, Zach, you're gonna learn from some other people's mistakes or other people's positive behaviors. So let's learn from our own mistakes, and let's learn from other people's mistakes and other people's positive habits. Let's read them books, read the Bible. Let's see if I can pump out another good book here. I have some sitting around. Oh, I don't see any good ones right now. I'll show you my painting though. This is my one. This is my one and only. What is it called? Acrylic. My Bob Ross. That's just. I had a girlfriend a few years ago, maybe like 5 years ago, and she wanted. I spent hundreds of dollars on all the shit to paint this, and we did it one time and then broke up, like a couple weeks later. But it was totally worth it. Can't see any good books that I want to pop out on you. There's so many. Oh, where's this? Oh, what's this? There's a million good biblical books. I'll have another video. I'm gonna have a recommended book list as far as studying the Bible goes, because you really have to know how to study the Bible to know what it says. It wasn't written in English. It was written in Hebrew for the Old Testament, very little Assyrian in the Old Testament, and then the New Testament was in Greek. So the 1611 King James, which is right here, 1611 version of the King James. King James was the King of England, and in 1611, actually it was earlier than that, but that's he commissioned the translation of the Bible to English because people were learning English around the world, and actually I don't know why. It's because it wasn't in English, and they spoke English. It'd be like people, they had translation. The Vulgate is the Latin version of the Bible, and you hear a lot of history. People spoke Latin so that they could read the Bible, and even in English speaking countries. But in the beginning of this version of the Bible, there was, and it's not in your other King James versions. There is it's called a letter from the translators. This particular one. So it just introduces it right here, and you can't really read it, but it's just telling you like, hey, this is a note from us that translated this, and basically what they're saying is, the translators to the readers, and they're saying, hey, we were pressed into service to translate the Greek and Hebrew into English on short notice. Like even the few years that they had to work on it was not sufficient to put out an accurate, that every single word is going to flow in the English as it was intended in the Hebrew, especially the Hebrew, but also the Greek New Testament. And so if you know that, I mean, it's written there, then you can know what other books to buy. Oh, I don't know where I put them, but I have a bunch of other books that help. Like here, what do we got here? This might not be a great one, but so a Strong's Exhaustive Concordance of the Bible will give you every single word in the English. So whatever word you want to look up, we're just going to look up whatever, increase. So here's the word increase, and it shows you every verse in the Bible where that word is used. And then it'll show you, well, if it's the Old Testament, it was in the Hebrew. If it's in the New Testament, it was in the Greek. And so then you look it up. The one, say you're looking up the one in Jeremiah chapter 2, and you look over here and you find, there's Jeremiah, there's chapter 2, verse 3, and the first fruits of the, increase. And then it'll tell you 8393 in the Hebrew. And then in the back of this same book, there's a Greek and Hebrew dictionary. And in this Greek and Hebrew dictionaries, it just has word after word after word. It'll give you the number, and you look up that number. And it tells you an exact definition in English what that Hebrew word meant. And some of the words in the King James Bible, you have to use the King James Bible to use this, are way, way, way different than is actually translated in the King James Bible. And you say, well, why don't you just don't use a King James Bible then? Well, any other version is even worse, because now if you use any other version besides the King James Version, well, now you don't have a dictionary to possibly look up the word, because they'll be different. They may have made an effort to make it flow better, which in most cases I'll agree, yeah, it's flowing better. A New International Version or a New King James Version. The Standard American, there's all kinds of versions of the Bible, right? But the bottom line is, then you won't have a dictionary. You won't know what the actual word was. There's another book. Is this it? Yeah, this is an interlinear Bible. And what this is it's it's Hebrew, Greek, and English. So when you open the Bible, it actually has the Hebrew. And I actually have some books on learning to read Hebrew, and it's way easier than you would think. With all them squiggly lines and shit, it's really not that difficult. But there's no need to learn Hebrew. I'm not saying you need to do that. But this particular one, it's kind of like if you had that Strong's Concordance and the King James all in one. So this printing is way too small, but let me see if I can. So you can kind of see some squiggly lines where there's Hebrew, right? And you can see words underneath, and the words, so it's called the interlinear Bible, because it's showing you word for word, Hebrew, English, Hebrew, English, Hebrew, English, and Hebrew reads the other way, by the way. Not left to right, but right to left. So it's a little confusing, but it's not that bad to learn how to read right to left. But anyway, this is called the Green's Interlinear Bible. So you would never know that you need this to translate the Bible accurately. I mean, especially if you go to these churches nowadays, they're just, the book of Revelation is pretty clear about the churches of the world, especially Revelation 2:9 and Revelation 3:9. If you understand what two churches he was talking about there, that, our brother Judah, who claim to be of our brother Judah, but are not, but are of the synagogue of Satan. So, a person recently told me they believe in Jesus, and I was like, and they were trying to push these kind of odd beliefs on me. And then they said, well, I believe in Jesus. And they used it as a little weapon to try to sneak their lies behind, through to me. And I thought to myself, well, yeah, the devil believes in Jesus. The devil can quote the Bible front ways, backwards, sideways, upside down, and it's all he did to attempt to deceive Christ. When Christ fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, and then he was tempted by the devil only tempted him with Bible, verses. He's like, hey, this is what the Bible says. So, if you'll just worship me, I'll give you everything. And um, Christ defeated his temptations with the Bible also. So the devil quoted the Bible, but twisted it a little wrong. And that's the problem. Who's going to twist it a little wrong on you? Not me, because I'm not going to teach you the Bible. I'm going to tell you to go get these books and learn it yourself. For example, the Bible says in King James, Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the surface of the waters, right? And so it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, period. And the earth became without form and void. It says the earth was without form and void. It doesn't, it really, in the King James, it says the earth was without form and void. But when you look it up in them, the Greek's interlinear, or the interlinear Bible, the Green's interlinear, or the Strong's Concordance, when you look it up in the Hebrew, it says became, not was. And it changes the entire verse, and it changes the entire Bible. And you're talking just words in to the translation of the Bible. And it is so wrong that you will never understand the rest of it, because you won't know that the earth was already here for millions and millions, if not billions of years, and became without form and void. In the Hebrew, it's tuhu vabuhu. It's a destruction. And Isaiah 45:18 says the Lord created this world not tuhu vabuhu. He created it not in vain. In Isaiah, it says not in vain, but the word vain is tuhu vabuhu. Where there's another one. There's two different words, totally different in the English, but in the Hebrew, it's the same word. And it's saying that the word was like this, and the world became destroyed. And then in Isaiah, it says God created the world not destroyed. So it became destroyed. So this I'm just saying, hey, we got 5 live viewers. This is tied for the record. But every time I say it, then like 3 people go off. So if we can get one more to jump on in the next 2 seconds. Michael, I saw your comments on one of my videos. I think it was yesterday, and thank you. I appreciate you. Any interaction with the channel and hearing from you guys and what you're doing, and keep pumping away. Yes. Fill me in. Don't be afraid to write out your whole list on there, what you're doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Morning, noon, and night. I was just talking about how, your workout program can really be a 24/7 kind of thing, because you're always doing something to benefit yourself, and can there be some productive downtime? One of the guys in the early videos, he commented, like playing a video game for an hour here or there, and I'm actually a pretty big advocate of it. To me, it'd be just like, we got 6 live viewers, you guys. That's the record. Let's go. Guys, so let's say, would you say putting this Lego set together for 2 hours would be a better use of 2 hours than playing video games for 2 hours? I'd say yes. This is going to stimulate your mind and actually activate the circuitry in your mind, where like video games and television tend to actually slow down your nervous system. But if it's the point is that you're trying to just burn up some time to not eat, or not have a beer or whatever you're trying to do. Let's see, I'm checking out his there's a live viewer, right, or there's a commenter right now, guys. I watched a couple of my recent videos where I just started interacting with the commenter without saying what they're talking about. But this guy's just talking about Angel's on there, 6. Woohoo! Yeah, see, we're already back down to 4, but that's all right because we hit the 6. So you went Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, eating healthy, walking, hiking every day. Yes, that. A lot of people would say that doesn't sound very intense or very productive, but I know for a fact that walking and hiking, it's not just your physical health, it's your mental health. And it's getting out and getting the fresh air. When you're in the woods and the green vegetation, it has chlorophyll and it fills the air right around it. And when you breathe that in, it is so healthy and good for you. And the sunlight, even in the winter, just getting out, getting some fresh air, getting some sunlight, and those long walks, working out 3 days a week. If you're hitting the gym, you can go for a walk every day. Like in the summer, you guys will see, because this channel's never going to end. When the spring hits and I'm able to get outside. Yep. The commenter Michael is saying how he needs to eat more after the gym, and that's very true. And it's one of the reasons why I don't like working out super hard in the gym anymore, because I just I tend to overeat then, because you need to overeat. Alex Angel says hello.
Hello.
He could hear you. So the torn for your protein complex, carbs, vitamin, minerals, healthy. Yep, yeah, you got it, Michael. You don't need to overeat. You just need to replace that protein, and do a little research, man. Like I tell people, don't listen to Zach. He's just some idiot. He don't know shit. But you don't go through as much protein a day as your body, as some of these people have thought over the last 20, 30 years, especially. I mean, I've heard people say to eat like 2.5 times your weight. So let's say you weigh 200 pounds and they're telling you to eat like 500 grams of of protein a day. It was just ridiculous. It's just, your body's only like 17% protein. So how could you need to eat more than that? It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. You're like 50% water. So obviously you should be drinking water all the time. We're a carbon-based life form. So we have a lot of carbon atoms in our body. So protein is just, it's overdone. Yeah, that would be perfect. And if it's overdoing it, it wouldn't be overdoing it by an unhealthy amount. Like the commenter was just saying like half a gram per pound. And I would even say a half a gram per pound of your goal weight. If you're 300 pounds, but your goal weight is 200 pounds, so then go half a gram per your goal weight, not your current weight. Like your healthy BMI weight. For me, let's say well, it sounds like my girlfriend's going to be pushing me to be more like 150. So then like 75 grams of protein a day. And if you do some research, that's more than enough, but by about 20 grams. Well, Google this. They've done studies. How many grams of protein can your body even possibly digest and synthesize in one meal? And then tell me you need a protein shake, because it's completely useless. It cannot be absorbed. For your healthy weight, for your height, weight for your height. Yeah. So like your BMI goes by your height. So like for me, I'm only 5'8". I mean maybe 5'9" on it. Like if I hung from my feet for a few days, and which I see. There's another thing. I do an inversion table occasionally. Where's my inversion table? I think I still have it in my other house. I got to bring that thing here. We'll make some. Oh, you guys, we hit 6 live viewers, and then we back down to 3, and now we're back up to 6. This is amazing, you guys. If we could possibly hang on for that 7, we can beat the record twice in one stream. And also, I think as a live commenters, to see different people, Michael, Angel, Prancing Cat, 3 live commenters. I think that's also tied for the lead. I think I had 3 another time also. So guys, stay positive, stay moving in there. Let's call it, what did I call it? Warrior mode. That's going to be one of my first t-shirts. We're working on the store and the merchandise and everything. It's going to be coming out. It's going to be all motivational sayings and Bible verses and positive energy quotes. And we'll come up with some personal branded items as well. We'll come up with some registered. I'll have to register some trademarks so people can. I'm thinking about having a company make me some registered trademark thumbnails, so like I can just put it at the beginning of every video. I figured out, because of my super smart girlfriend she already has a monetized YouTube channel, that once I hit 1,000 subscribers, because when you don't have 1,000 subscribers, you can't go live with your phone. You can only record with your phone and then post it. But if you have 1,000 subscribers, you can just go live. So that's awesome, because now when I'm up camping and hiking, I'll just go live with my selfie stick. Like if I'm hiking down the trail, and I could show part of my life. And when I'm in the Philippines, I'm hoping, I don't know, am I going to have service in the Philippines? Do phones work all over the world? I don't even know. I might have to look into that. I might be dead. I might be down for like 20 days, guys. If you don't hear from me in April, just know I'm out of the country. I'm halfway around the world for a couple of weeks. But we'll have a farewell video for that day for sure, just to make sure y'all know what's up. And But also, I was gonna start a Discord. Actually, not a Discord, a Patreon account. I do have a Patreon account, but I think I'm just gonna wait until yeah, dude. The commenter was just asking when am I gonna do the bomb ass salad? Did I take a picture of it? Dude, I made the bomb ass salad today. I was taking pictures of my food yesterday and today to try to make a video about them and to just because I want to just document everything I ate. Um, let me just let me just prove it. Like there was just a picture of 3 bananas I ate. There was one of my meals yesterday. Like it was like my second meal. And I had taken a bunch of them and I just couldn't I can't figure out what I'm doing. I don't even know where the other ones are, but I had a big ass salad today. It was so awesome. Um, I didn't take a picture of the Popeyes chicken wings I had yesterday. There's only 3 chicken wings. So. Okay, let's see. Let's catch up here. Zach attacks. Yeah. It's funny you say that because a coworker of mine said the same thing. Zach attacks the fat, Zach attacks the motivation, Zach attacks the positive energy. But yeah, yep. Fitness products, motivational videos, all the way, baby. And I think it'll just become more and more real as the fitter and younger I get. Because once I hit 50, it was right around 45. Then I actually started going back down. So I hit 45 and then I was 45 again and then back down. So now I'm actually 40 again. So um, next year coming up, is it my 51st birthday? No, it'll be my 39th because we're going back the other way. So, um, what else do we have? This is funny because it happened again now where I was going to pop on for a quick 10-minute video and I start interacting with the community and I start, when you start pouring out your heart, and this is why it's so important to like journal. Um, yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the ZAK. My name is actually Zachariah. So it's spelled Zachiriah, but we're not gonna go with Zachariah attack. And so I've actually spelled my name ZAK like ever since high school, just because ZACH. People used to tease me that my name was Zach, which I kind of liked it. But yeah, like ZACK or ZA, like Zach Wild for the guitar player for Ozzy Osbourne for a while back in the day. He spelled his name ZAKK, and that's kind of cool too. So might do something like that. But that's getting to be too many Ks in there. You're kind of 1K away from the danger zone. So maybe I'll go ZACK and Zach attacks, and we'll get. I'm thinking about having like a custom drawing done with the Zach attack logo, and then I'm thinking about like a Trojan warrior. If you ever seen like the movie 300, like the hoplite. I mean, not Trojan, the hoplite armor. The hoplite battle system is very interesting. The Greeks, the way they used the Greek city states, they had hoplites. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I got to mix in the airborne too. Oh, where did I put my big? I had a big airborne. What are you looking at? You play your game. I don't know what I did with it. I had a big airborne patch or somewhere. Oh, let's have a Zach stands up. We're getting there, guys. We're still chunky, but we're getting there. I'm thinking about where am I going to be in 6 months? Where am I going to be in a year? That's why I say, like, how many people? Oh, Zach, you're only down 25 pounds. Like, you don't think I'm happy to be down 25 pounds? And what if it takes me another? What if I don't get down to 218 by April 1st? This is actually a big lesson we're going to learn. Because whether I do or not is meaningless. I mean, what did was a World War II general? Well, it's a famous saying. I can't remember who said it, but it's like planning or having a plan is useless. Planning is indispensable, or however it's worded. So it's saying you got to plan so that you have an overall strategy and tactic, even though it's going to fail immediately. As soon as the first bullets are fired, the plan changes. But to have had planned is what's important. And having the plan is meaningless. So I have planned and I've laid the foundation. There's first 10 videos if you go back and watch. I go back and watch them all the time because they motivate the hell out of me. It's like, Zach, you said that from day one. On the fourth video, you said that. On the seventh video, you said that. So freaking stick to your guns and do it. Um, People have told me that. Yeah. The commenter saying I got a lot of muscle under all that love. um, what do I call this isn't fat. This is I can't say it. It's a gas tank though for the machine. Um, I don't have a super negative self-image. I have, and I think people have over exaggerated because I've put myself down and they think I'm being super negative on myself, but I'm actually attempting to lift them up. I don't put others down to put myself above them. I put myself down to put them above me, and they don't understand that, but that's okay. I know I got it. I know it's right there. And like I said, most overweight people, men and women, I would say even more women, like you look at, let's just say a 300-pound woman, because that's a pretty big girl, right? Girl, you got it. You got all you need to get down. That muscle, that weight on your body has created huge muscles underneath there. And I say a woman because you have a bigger advantage because women have such low testosterone compared to men, and higher what's the other one called? Estrogen. That it actually as a survival mechanism causes you to not grow large muscles. But with all that body fat that is not natural, that we're not meant to be that morbidly obese, you've created huge muscles underneath there that burn fat like crazy. um what else did he say? I got to start eating healthy all the time and hit some high intensity cardio this year and burn off all the body fat hanging around my love. Yeah, I mean, if you just saw my body, that's how when I don't even look that much different. Like up here is going to look pretty much like this when I'm 200 pounds. It's just that gut hanging over is just gone. It just goes right there. And that is a testament to the fatty liver disease and the diabetes. And it's very, very unhealthy. I mean, does my face look like I have this big of I just showed it to you? Because it doesn't, right? It doesn't look like I should be that big down there. You look at my shoulders and my arms and, my chest is popping. It's like just fat around the abs. But to give myself credit though, I am, what was I, 245? That's 80 pounds less than I was, right? 315, 65, 70 pounds. Michael is saying, I'm getting my blood work done this Friday coming up, and I'm going to have a check up on my testosterone level and see what's exactly going on. Yeah, you can do that. You can also ask about, your thyroid and your, I don't know the name of the test, but I've looked them up where you can ask to, what's the name of it? It was on the tip of my tongue. It'll tell you like the vitamin and mineral content in your body and show you if you're lacking in any, like sometimes it's just a imbalance. Like your diet is so unbalanced and you don't realize, just for example, like you're not getting any vitamin C. So back in the day when everybody got scurvy, it was a huge problem in the world to get scurvy until they figured out it was only a lack of vitamin C. And that's why they started putting like the lime in the beer on the ships, because they all got scurvy at sea because they didn't bring citrus with. And then they figured out, oh, scurvy is from a lack of citrus. Now, nobody in the world ever gets scurvy. So it's figuring shit like that out. Lipid. Yeah, that's another. I don't know if that's the name of it, but it sounds like it might be right. Um, Yeah, I barely ever go to the doctor. I'm not the big proponent or not the, I do believe you should. I'm just not the guy to talk to about it because like I just take care of myself. But the testing is invaluable. Well, that's good. I mean, I haven't heard you say you have any pre-existing medical conditions, and I'm praying. I think we can have faith in God that there's really nothing wrong with you, and that it's just some dietary changes that we can make, and you'll be fit, you'll be healthy, wealthy, and happy. And praise Jesus every minute of the way. So let's pray for Michael that his blood work comes back and everything is good and Jesus is in control. And good, bad, or ugly, we're gonna press forward and handle it in Jesus' name and be cured and healed. And by His natural health laws, it's gonna be taken care of in any way. So, but we've made our mistakes, and we're gonna pay for it. No matter how hard I prayed the day I went to the doctor to not have diabetes, you know what? That blood work was gonna come back that I had diabetes because I made those choices. So yeah, and just make that the commenter is saying, hopefully he's fine and everything's good, and which I'm sure he is. So, it's just a commitment to just do the right thing anyway. Like I tell my friends at work that are just, I can see them getting fatter and their belly sticking out more and more every 6 months, every year. And, it's like, I know they're not going to listen to me, but I just tell them, well, if I wish I would have listened to somebody and not waited until I was full blown type 2 diabetes. If I could have taken care of it when my doctor told me I was like 6.4 or something, or 6.2, so I was in the pre-diabetic range. I think it was 6.2 because it was like 20 years ago that she told me I was pre-diabetic, and I just didn't take it seriously. I took it as, well, that's not diabetic then, right? I'm fine. And I guess the internet was around, but it wasn't super popular like it is now, where everybody's just, I don't even. Somebody wants to argue about something, I'm like, the answers are right here. What are we arguing about? Yeah, I know the population in China. We can know that in like 2 seconds. Why argue about it? Not that all the information online is accurate, but I mean, a lot of things are not so subjective, and it's pretty much just information you're looking up. So let's take care of ourselves. Let's keep plugging away. We're in warrior mode. We're in warrior mode. That means like we're gonna plow forward, nose to the wind. We're gonna always go against the grain. We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight. We're not gonna give up. You know. Why would you give up? What are you here for? What are we on earth for? Why would you even say something like, I want to get healthy, and then not do anything to be healthy? I want to quit drinking, but then immediately go buy a case of beer. Make some votes for yourself, even if it's difficult. Look, I bought a bag of pecans the other day because I really enjoy. I almost said I really love nuts. You got to be careful what you say. I do. They would have been awesome on my salad, but I ate them so fast that I ate the whole bag before I even made a salad. It's like, okay, I can't buy any kinds of nuts. And thankfully there was a big bag and a medium bag and a small bag. And I bought the smallest bag because I think I was setting myself up for failure. I knew I was going to eat them all. I think subconsciously, like just saying it, I think I knew I was going to eat them all is what made me eat them all. I think what I might do next time is just buy like a 1 ounce bag of them and then don't eat them. Like leave them in the cupboard for as long as I possibly can. Like if I can go a week or 2 weeks or a month, to train myself that it's there, but I'm in control. I knew a woman that quit smoking, and even a year later, I saw her digging through her purse, and she took out a pack of cigarettes as she was looking for her wallet. And I said, Rose, I thought you quit smoking. And she said, I did. I was like, well, what's the cigarettes there for? And she's like, this way I know I could have one anytime I want, and I'm choosing not to. And she had the same pack of cigarettes in her purse for a year. And as far as I know, she still doesn't smoke. You got to push yourself past your personal comfort zones, confront the many and significant changes in your life. So definitely the commenter is talking about pushing yourself, and beyond your comfort zones. And Not necessarily your like physical discomfort. You don't have to make yourself physically uncomfortable, but it's that that mental comfort zone, that area where I'm not going to fail because I'm not going to try, and that way I can't fail. So that's where that's where the personal comfort zone could come in. And think of like giving a homeless person. Let's say you see a guy up on the corner and he's got his sign out, homeless, whatever, anything will help. The best thing you could do would be to get off the road and park and walk over and ask him if he'd be willing to check himself into a drug and alcohol rehab facility, and that you'll give him a ride there. Sponsor him, pay, if you could get some donations going to pay for him to go through treatment and therapy. And, is anybody ever doing that? No, oh, I helped a homeless guy today. I gave him $10 on the corner. Like you probably just bought a hit of drugs. You helped him zero. you know um if you yeah actually because that's your comfort zone. I feel good about myself. Oh, i I give the guy $500. You didn't help him at all. And whatever, if as long as it's in your comfort zone, you probably didn't help. Because it's going to take a lot bigger of a commitment to help that person. you know I mean, I even seen some young kids like high school age, like maybe even junior high, begging on like a busy, it's almost like a freeway. They didn't know what the hell they were doing. And you could see they were friends. The one was on this side of the road, one was on that side of the road. Their $200 Nikes on, and you could tell they're little suburbanite kids that were more willing to stand out begging for money. And from what I could tell, neither one of them had been given a penny, than to go get a job. They were that age, they were old enough to go get a job. And the society has created a situation where kids would rather go beg for money on the street than go get a job. Like, I mean, I hope they were out there all day too to learn their lesson that this is not how you're going to get ahead in life. They obviously not even old enough to be out of their parents' house. Their clothes are all clean, their hair is not dirty, their face, they look like they just showered that day. They're obviously not homeless. Brand new jackets, brand new clothes, brand new shoes. And I almost wanted to pull over and talk to them about, what would actually help them. But I actually was a little, I don't know. I felt like I was out of, like, I knew they didn't need actual help. The help they needed was, a kick in the ass more than anything. Yeah. The commenter is talking about giving homeless people some food and water and blankets and a couple bucks here and there. And I'm not saying I've never done that. I have done that. I I give homeless people money a lot of times. I'm not bashing that. I'm saying what would really help them though, to go way out of your comfort zone would be where they really were helped. You want to really help them. Like let's. There was a growing up in. I grew up in Minneapolis, the Twin Cities area of Minnesota. If you don't know what that is, I don't know how you don't. But I was in the army, and I told people I was from Twin Cities in Minneapolis, and they didn't know what it was. I'm like, you said it was down south though, so maybe they were just a little southern boys. They didn't know the big city very well. But there was a homeless guy around my neighborhood growing up, and we gave him food all the time. He was a legit homeless guy. He had the exact same clothes on every day of my childhood, and he just wandered around digging in garbages and begging for. And if I was walking to the store, I'd notice he'd be behind me. And if I had a couple extra quarters in my pocket, I'm talking even when I was 12, 13, 14, walking up to the convenience store to buy a pop and a snack or something, I would throw 50 cents on the sidewalk, and I'd look back and put it down, and he would see me, and then I'd look back and he'd be picking it up. And then when I got a little older, I worked at the local fast food restaurants, and I'd see him bumming around the garbage looking, and I would make a bunch of extra food and say, hey, I'd hand it out the drive through window, and so he was actually being fed. I've tried to give people, there was a guy begging on the street. And now I was like 18 and I was an adult, and I was walking down the street. I was walking to church actually. And there was a homeless guy I hadn't seen before. He was a lot younger than this other guy, was way older. There was two of them. There was a white guy and a black guy. And we kind of helped them both out over the years. Um, One family actually took in one of them for got him all shaved and cut hair and bought him new clothes and let him work around the house. And he hung it out. He worked for, for food and shelter for quite a while. And then he eventually drifted back off. But this story is when I'm walking to church, and this guy, He catches me right in front of a fast food restaurant because the church I was walking to is just like a half a block past this fast food restaurant. I had just passed the restaurant. I was only across the street and he was on the corner. And he's like, "Hey, you got a few bucks for food?" I said, "Hey, I don't have any small bills on me, but let's run back in here and I'll just buy you some food." He's like, "You don't have any cash?" I was like, "Yeah, I have cash, but I'm not giving you, like $20 a bit. I'll go buy you some food. Come on." I'd already turned around and I was like, "Come on, I'll go buy you some food in here." And he just, I don't want to say what he said, but he didn't want the food. And I just turned around and kept walking to church. So what did that guy need? He needed some inpatient therapy, Um, and those guys begging on the corner, I'm not saying, all of them are drug addicts and alcoholics. I'm saying that's a great way to get there. It's statistically speaking, somebody begging for a change on a corner does drugs and alcohol in excess. And that's a big part of their problems in life. I mean, I'm sure it's overwhelmingly in my favor that I'm right here. Like this person needs counseling more than they need money. Um, Especially like you'll see a person begging for, it says, I just need $3 for food. And, the guy's like 100 pounds overweight or, even 50 pounds overweight. Like nobody, most people say, "Zach, you're not fat." And it's like, I'm only one tick away from the morbidly obese category on the BMI. Like we're so used to seeing overweight people in America that a dude that's on the very edge of obese, I'm in the obese, the top pound of obese, and people say you're not fat. It's like, I am. My physical condition is called fat. That's just what it is. It's a medical condition. It's a cell in your body. It's not an insult. It is a fact of your physical condition. I don't think it's me. I think I am up here. The intellect of my mind has no body fat on it. It's not even a physical form. My soul is inside of this flesh body, and inside of that soul is my spirit. And my spirit is the intellect of that soul. That's me. Even when I look in the mirror, even when I'm looking at myself now, it's like, that's not me. Like you don't see yourself enough it's almost funny to look at myself this long. Who the hell looks in the mirror for an hour and 11 minutes? I guess I do because I'm looking at myself. I was even thinking about getting some new cameras and new equipment this weekend, and it just didn't happen. We're just going to have to stick with this grainy old laptop for now. Once we get up to like 10,000 subscribers, and I'm monetized, then I'll get some better equipment. But I think I kind of like it this way, just to stay organic. It's just Zach. He's on the attack. He's attacking the fat. He's attacking the gym. He's gonna run that 5K. And I got 6 more weeks of training for the treadmill 5K. It's just me. I'm just showing you how easy this is. Like I've only went running like 4 or 5 times now. I went 2 weeks ago. I started it. I ran 3 days that week. I ran 2 days last week, and I ran 2 days this week, something like that. So I've only ran like 7 times, and I haven't even ran like a mile straight yet. I could, but I'm going slow, and I'm just showing how easy it can be. And then I'll run a 5K on the treadmill, and I'll probably record it on my phone, like the last, 10th of a mile of it or something. And I'll show you, here we go, 3.12 miles. And it'll probably take me like 35 minutes or something. I'm not going to run it fast or anything. And then we'll just show, I'll run a 10K on the treadmill. And then by then it'll be summer, and I'll be running 10Ks outside, and I'll show the results of those. And then in October, we'll run the half marathon again. And my record last 2 years ago was, that was my fastest half marathon, was 2 hours and 17 minutes and something seconds. I have it written, or I have the email, or I think you can even look them up. It was the Mankato Marathon, the 2021 Mankato, Minnesota half marathon. And then you can look up finishing results. You look and type in Zachariah Patterson, and it shows I was 48th at the time, and it shows. I wish you could put in your weight so you could remember how much you weighed on every one of them. Because the first one I ran in 2019 in Mankato, I weighed 251 pounds that morning. And then the 2021 one, I weighed 235 pounds that morning. And you can see I did the exact same training program both times out of this magazine, this 10-week training program. Which is a great program. I'm going to do it again. It's 1 day of sprints, one day of moderate run and one day of long run. And then if you do a fourth day, it's just like an easy half-hour run once or twice if you want to do extras. But I only do the 3 days. So it's like one day of, either 400s or 800s or even 1600s, sprints, meters, 400-meter sprints. So like one lap around the track, and then take like a 5-minute break or 2-minute, 3-minute break, whatever it is. And then the other day you just go for like a 6-7 mile run, like a moderate pace, like faster than what you would run the half marathon, but not too fast to where you're just out of breath. And then the other day you just run the long pace, like whatever, go run 10 miles or something. It's a great program. It just works awesome. And you can do it on the treadmill and you can do it outside. And I'll show you. It'll all be documented. It'll all be having its own playlist and its own set of habits and how we got there. You just got to run enough. And, it's like, hey, you got to run 3 days a week. And it's like, well, I'm only going to run 1 day a week, and then 10 weeks later, you think you're going to run a half marathon. Like, you got to place more positive votes for yourself to train for what you want to get. And the same with our health, the same with our physical health, our mental health, our spiritual health, emotional health, social health. All right. I did my chips today, and it's 8:15 right now. I went live about 7, and I got up this morning and I just had a whole avocado, a really small one though. So I counted it 200 calories. Avocado have crazy high calories because they have so much healthy fat. And then 2 fried eggs, on top of it with the pink Himalayan sea salt and black pepper. That was it. Just 2 fried eggs and an avocado. You could have went half an avocado and 3 eggs, but I just love this avocado. Was ready. It was perfect. I cut it in half, and just was able to squeeze it out and almost like a mashed, and then put the eggs on top so that when I cut the egg, it just went right into the avocado. It was so good. So that was 400 calories. That was just a bomb healthy, super healthy fat breakfast with, and the avocado has more fiber than you would think. It doesn't seem fibrous, and then later I had a cantaloupe at one time, so that was 200. Although these cantaloupes are super small, they're like barely bigger than a softball, but I still counted it as 200. And I made some of my fried rice with. I used less rice this time because I realized I messed up on the rice counting. I was counting a cup of cooked rice as a cup of, or I was counting a cup of uncooked rice as a cup of cooked rice, which a cup of uncooked rice is 3 cups of cooked rice, which has, let's say it has 150 calories a cup. I was calling it 150 calories a cup of uncooked. And so that was all messed up. So this time I did it right, and I put the way less. So I put just a little bit of meat. I had some pork chops that my sister had given me. Just a tiny one, like a little 3-ounce one, chopped it up in little cubes, fried it. And then I put the, seasonings and all the, you got to look up all the stir fry seasonings, fish oil. And, oh my God, you're still watching. You the man. What's this other one? Yeah, thank you. God bless you, Michael. Thanks for watching. Thanks for keeping up with the channel. I'm purposely kind of dragging these some of these live feeds out now because these I'm not supposed to talk about your like analytics on YouTube, but I need my videos too. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, brother. Take care of yourself. Come back next time. Keep that notification bell on. So anyway, I had my avocados and eggs, and I don't remember. I'm not saying all this in order, but I did have a cantaloupe today. Oh yeah, and then I made my big salad, which was awesome. This was the first time I had my skinny girl Italian dressing. Still only 5 calories a serving. So it's only a little 8-ounce bottle. It's like that big. The whole bottle is only 80 calories, and the salad itself barely had like 200. So I counted the whole salad as 300. It probably wasn't even that. It's a bunch of lettuce and pea pods and shredded carrots, cucumbers, tomatoes. Oh, I had a little bit of cheese on it. So it probably was 300. A little bit of shredded cheese on top. I don't always put the cheese. It's, just I wanted a little protein. Well, Michael, you signed off, and then everybody signed off. Oh, there's one more person on. I gotta feel like I'm at least talking to somebody. By the end of my streams now, like especially this one's way over an hour. I'll get off of the stream. The maximum that was live was 6. And then I'll get off the stream and it'll be like 30 people were watching off and on. So it's kind of funny. It's like I could be killing my records. Okay, so I had the salad. I had the eggs and the avocado. I had the big salad. I had the cantaloupe. I'm trying to think. My son had the mac and cheese for lunch, which he did give me a couple bites of that because he couldn't finish. But then I had my rice, yeah, and that was like 500 calories. So that's where I was at up until dinner, and I had this much left. And so I was very, very good. Drank my black tea for breakfast, drank my water, drank my colon cleanse, used my peroxide, took my cold shower. And I still had like 600 calories left. And we went out for burgers and fries, but we each just bought one small burger and then we split a fries and we drank water. So I just burnt up the rest of my calories. And it might not even have been that much over because I had 600 calories left. And it was not a huge burger, but the bun and the fries. So yeah, it was probably 600. So, but like I said in the beginning, when I started using the chips, this is only 2,000 and my basal metabolic rate is 2,500. So this is giving me a 500 calorie buffer zone to eat that little tiny bowl of ice cream after. So we're still going to plug away. We're going to get it done. April 1st is going to come and go, and we're still going to be just getting jacked and tanned and juicy as hell, now that I know I can go live on my phone, I'm going to be, let me show you this. I got my big stand now, so I can, when I'm out and about, I can just rack it up and start going live everywhere I am. So that's awesome. And I got a dash clip. If you can see I glued a metal thing here and I got a magnet and it clink, but it points up a little bit and I can't get it to point down. And I was thinking we could have some more live streams of just driving with Zach, and we can have it a whole different topic, a whole different series on the channel. Different playlist is what I'm getting at. Hey, where'd my little clicker go? Came with the little, you can hook it up with your Bluetooth. It's pretty awesome. And then the thing connects to this little remote, and you can set the tripod up far away, and then you can just hit the little button, be holding it behind your guy, boom, and it'll take the picture, turn the video on. Pretty awesome, guys. All right. Who else is on here? We got 4 likes. Hit that like button, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, guys. At the beginning of this video, when I went live, I had 1,184 subscribers. So welcome to the couple new subscribers. I think it's 4 or 5 new subscribers since yesterday. Yep, we're still at 1,184. So, and it goes down once in a while. I'll lose 1 or 2 and then gain 5 and lose 1 or 2 and gain 5. So, it kind of goes like that. Or people, not everybody, some people unsubscribe, but you just keep putting out content and keep plugging away and keep staying positive, staying motivated, staying dedicated, love yourself. Like today's Bible verse, I enjoyed it so much when I found this one, as far as like, but those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not grow faint. And it was so awesome because, I'm running and walking a lot. I soar like an eagle. Oh, when my shirt's off, you can see my big eagle. It's a big boy. Actually, it was a butterfly when I got it, but then I gained like 100 pounds. And all right, guys, tomorrow is going to be my last day of eating, and I'm probably going to check my weight tonight and just to kind of gauge where I'm at, because I don't want to get too high above. I was What was I? I was 245. Okay, I was about to say 247. Okay, I was 245. So it'd be nice if I wasn't much over like 250, after 4 days of eating. Which, if you think about it, if you can only gain 5 pounds back, hey, why'd it get all dark all of a sudden? If you could gain only 5 pounds back, I mean, that's just food in your stomach. I think I've lost more than 5 pounds on the first day of every fast I go on. You know what I mean? I get up and I take my colon cleanser and drink my water. Get to work, I drink my tea, and that stuff starts working. And then, I don't eat all day. And then I go home and then I go to the gym. I've been going to the gym like on my first day of fasting and my second day of fasting pretty consistently because that's when I feel the best. Out of this 8 days, the best I feel is the 24 and 48 hours into the fast. By 72 hours and 96 hours, I start feeling weak. And then I eat that night and then I feel better on my first day of eating. And I usually hit the gym that day and the next day. And then it just depends on how much energy I have and how hard I pumped it. So, um, I'm like, oh, I was just saying though, to monitor my weight probably tonight so that it'll really help me stay disciplined tomorrow. Because you can eat 2,000 calories of really light foods, and you can eat 2,000 calories of really heavy foods. So, um, I think I'm set up to eat pretty light tomorrow. I still have my stuff to make salads, but I'm kind of running out of all the ingredients, where it might be just a lot more lettuce and carrots and I know I have a bunch of cucumber. I'm out of the baby tomatoes, so I probably won't buy more though because it's my last day of eating. I see I have one apple left. I have one cantaloupe left. I can see it on my counter. Those are my two like fruits that are out. I have maybe a half a pint of strawberries in the fridge. I have a bunch of cucumbers, so I can pig out on those, and I have a whole head of lettuce left for salads tomorrow, and shredded carrots. So lettuce, carrots, cucumbers. Oh, I have a whole pepper left. I have a half a pint of fresh mushrooms. I have a half a gallon of almond milk. Like I said, sometimes you just chug some almond milk. If you eat something, like I'll eat a salad, and let's say 5 minutes later, like that, I just like, Zach, I still want something. Just go drink a whole glass of almond milk, 30 calories, a whole 8-ounce glass. And it's so much more filling than just water because it feels like it has a little more substance, with the almond flavor. If you look up how they make almond milk, it's really just water. It's water that it's almost like if you ground up almonds and like made coffee out of it. Like that's kind of how they make almond milk. It's not like they squeeze almonds and get milk out of it. It's water and then they run it through almonds to make it like almond, they get all the almond fat out of there. Um, so almond milk is really just water. They're just calling it milk because it's a milk supplement. Almonds don't have nipples and you can't milk them. So, they kind of look like a nipple though, in some regards, like a almond shaped nipple, which almonds are delicious. I love almond milk. Matter of fact, now that I'm talking about it, I'm probably going to go drink a glass of it right now. I am 2 minutes and 15 seconds away from this being a 1 hour and 30-minute video. And I think that'll be my record. I also hit my record of 6 live viewers on the stream, and then they went away, and then they came back 6 more. So I'm very interested to see the numbers at the end of this video. I think it's going to be where over 20 people were watching it off and on, because it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 4, up and down, up and down, up and down the whole time. But it's been 90 minutes almost, so I think it's getting a little later. People are, if you didn't hit the notification, if you didn't see the notification for when I went live hour and a half ago, you had to get on your channel and you had to get on your YouTube and see my feed live on your thing before you noticed it. So if you're new to the channel, if you're not subscribed, I can see that a lot of my viewers are not subscribed. So I don't know. I have some of my, like keywords are fasting and intermittent fasting and 24-hour fast, 48-hour fast. If you Google any of them things, you might find my videos. 400 calorie meals is a big part of my program now. Overcoming diabetes is a big reason. I started dieting and working out and eating right, and not working out. I always worked out, but like running and hiking a lot more was because of the diabetes and just Getting older, it's just a lot easier to go for a hike than it is to hit the gym and bench press 420 pounds like I did when I was 32 years old and ripped the tendon right out of my shoulder. And it's like, what good is that? There's just no benefit to being hugely muscular. There's literally no benefit to it at all. I mean, I have more muscle on my body right now than I want to weigh total. I want to weigh less than, I want to weigh like 150, 160, and I have 178 pounds of muscle on my body. So I need to pretty much get rid of all my body and some of my muscle so that I'm just 150 pounds of pure muscle. And I think that'll be all right. No, seriously though, you're going to live longer to be smaller. Google life expectancy by weight, by height. If you're short, don't be sad. You have a huge statistical advantage of longevity. If you're like 5 feet tall, like let's say if you're a 5'4" male, you feel insignificant. You feel less than the 6'4" guy. Well, you have about a 15-year longer life expectancy than the 6'4" guy. So bring that up when they want to brag about how tall they are. You say you won't be any taller than me when you're laying down in the grave, and I'll still be standing up. Boom. So you ever heard the term little old lady? Yeah, because the little ladies live to be old. The big ladies do not live to be old. So let's be the little old lady. People don't believe me. Like this guy at work, he's probably the skinniest, lightest weight adult male I've ever seen in my life, and he looks great. He's just a small dude, and he has a great body. Um, he has no problem attracting women. It's men that compare themselves to each other. I tell him I would switch my body with his, and I'd pay 10 grand to do so. And my problems would be gone. His problems are, oh, I want to be bigger, and it's like there's just no reason to be. Being bigger, and I know you don't need to be bigger. There's no, I mean, maybe there's some like prehistoric advantage, but like modern day advantage, like the things that attract women to men just are prehistoric. They just don't apply. The fact that I can beat up your boyfriend, like, yeah, that might be true, but what good is that? It's never going to happen. I can defend you against a mate, like if you look up, the women want the shoulder to waist ratio. I mean, I'm not saying men are any less shallow, but I'm saying it has very little of, the reasons that we're attracted to each other don't really apply nowadays anyway. But guys, I just recommend that we're far less judgmental of women's shape. Like we tend to date women that are, way worse shape than we are, where women don't tend to do that as much. But it's natural. I'm not dogging women. It's not, it's because you have you have to protect your young, and you need a fit male to do that. And I'm just encouraging men to just stop whining and stop crying about it and just go get ripped. In matter of fact, the guys that are in shape, quit chasing the women that are not in your category anyway. Do them a favor. You think if we all decided that that's it, if people are overweight, they're not on the table, we're not going to date them, we're not going to marry them. You say that's so shallow, Zach. It's like, no, it's shallow to date them. It's shallow to ruin their lives and they die when they're 40, like my brother did, and 58, like my mother did, because they're so out of shape, because nobody, oh, just love yourself for who you are. No, I want to love you till you're 100, and you're only going to be that if you're fit and healthy. Anyway, what I'm saying, guys, is just give it up, let go, forget all the past. Just start today. Start right now. Drop down and give me 20 push-ups. Drink some water. Get rid of all the junk food out of your house. Quit drinking pop. Only drink water and tea. You can drink 1 beer per year. It's February 11th, and I've had a beer. I've thought of having a beer probably 3, 4, 5 times. And I was even thinking about it today. And then I just pass it up. It's not, maybe next time. We were at the burger joint, and it was like a tap beer place. And they had like their own house tap beer. And I thought, oh, that's probably going to be delicious with a California burger and onions, and chase it down with I was going to see, they have a really small beer. And then I just had a water. We always drink water when we go anywhere. I was joke how they have delicious water. What do you think, guys? Time to wrap it up. We're gonna go let my son turn the volume up on his video game. All right, guys, jump on board with Jesus. He won the battle. The battle's over. There's no more game to be played. The game went to overtime, and Jesus scored first, and Satan was defeated. He has no chance. You cannot win on Satan's team. You can only win on Jesus's team. The end of the book, it's written. It's set in stone. You cannot get victory outside of Jesus Christ. It's the only way to win. Call upon the name of the Lord, and you will be saved. Confess your sins before man, and he will confess you before the Father. It's not a big deal. It's nothing. It's just it's our Creator. Just find out who he is. Read about it. Look it up. Figure it out. It's throughout nature. It's throughout space. It's throughout the Word of God. And Jesus loves you. I love you. And I will catch up with you guys again tomorrow evening.